Any other comments on the payment of bills? Do we have a motion to accept them?
I'll make a motion to accept.
Vote?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. Just today, take it back with you. I won't have to ask me. Next item is department head reports. Danny?
The only thing is, the mayor has been given a more thorough copy from Nate of the annual agreements.
I actually made a copy of that for everybody.
I think it's a well-prepared document. The only thing I left for him was, should we put something in here that the fire chief, who is the department head of that station, deputies, where their squad room is and where their park their apparatus?
Yeah, so if you look at section 6C, which is 1, 2, 3, the fifth page in the first, 6C1, it says part of the payments to the squad, the village will also agree to provide the following: housing of the vehicles, equipment, supplies of the village open space as permitted by the village fire chief.
Okay.
So I think that gives you the reasonable discretion.
Yeah, I think it's a really good document.
You mean you didn't notice 6C1 Romanet 4 and
No, I think it protected the village, looking at it as harbor chief. It protects the village better than that other document. I think the board already gave the mayor permission.
yeah, it's good to have the board, I think, have the details like this. And then some of the questions though that I had, and I think you answered already, the initial payment for January 1st through July 31st, which is the end of the village's fiscal year, $0, right? I left a blank in there because I couldn't remember, or I wasn't aware if we were paying dollars in addition to the user fees that they can collect. So if it's $0, then we just need to make sure in 6A that it says $0 instead of just being a blank. And then the other piece of this too should be, I think, really, I know Pinsky's firm said they were fine with this, but the user fees that the squad is planning on collecting, now there's a schedule in here that I copied from another squad that Pinsky's law office worked with in another village. I would just want to make sure that these dollars are what your guys are planning on, or the squad is planning on actually charging, because the village is supposed to approve these user fees. So if somebody needs a basic life support ambulance call and transport, then they would be charged $775. I mean, that would go to the insurance company, but that's just the fee for that. So there's fees like that that are in here. So I just need that confirmation, and I think that the village board could authorize this tonight, and if the squad comes back and says, oh, actually those fees aren't quite right, then we can amend it.
Those fees obviously said came from Pinsky's office as well, so we had a conversation. But the budget that was done by the squad was mostly using Medicaid and Medicare money, not actual full insurance premiums collected. Because 90% of the patients we use are either on Medicaid or Medicare. So those are the numbers when we compile the budget we use, which is considered a lot, somewhere around, if I remember, certainly $250 per service run, where basic life support, if Blue Cross and Blue Shield, like what I have paid for, you'd be collecting the full 743 or whatever it is there. So that moral story is yes, very long, with the same numbers we use.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah.
Unfortunately. But you don't pay for the parts, neither do I.
So you're good.
So assuming that everyone's on board with it, does anyone have any other questions about it? I mean,
you, but this is what they're gonna do for us. Does this, not gonna tell what they want from us as far as ambulances, other things, is that all in here?
Yep, you're thinking in the payment section, it's section 6. C is the section that spells out, okay, what it is that we're letting them use. It's the ambulances, which we're gonna use the lease agreement that Pinsky's office had provided, that looked okay.
So we're not giving them the ambulances, we're letting them use the ambulances.
We're letting them use the
Okay.
ambulances.
And we
And we're
also,
providing insurance, it says.
Yes, yep.
we've
On
also,
the ambulances.
Collecting insurance for my guys' time?
I don't think so.
But I do want to hear from the chief.
I also had a conversation in length, compiled an inventory list. As far as we're concerned, even though a lot of the equipment has been purchased through donations, currently the entity that is serving the village is the VOO Fire Department Emergency Squad. Village tax dollars are supporting that entity, so therefore that property is the village of Owego. Light pack is $30,000, these stretchers are $30,000 plus. That's equipment that I don't want to see the village just, here you go, in case they fail, which I don't anticipate. But you always gotta look at both ends of the spectrum.
Mhm.
The village has the ability to step out of this and reevaluate. And if we just give them all the equipment, then we don't have anything to start back up with. Again, I don't anticipate this to fail, they're still tied into the fire department in a way, through their articles of incorporation, but still, I mean, we're talking several thousands of dollars if we didn't have this equipment inventory clause that you're just handing over to an entity that this village is losing control over.
Was that in here? That they don't have?
It's compiled with the inventory list.
And that's being led to them, or being.
Correct. And they understand that it's not theirs, that it's being loaned, I guess would be the word.
Well, it's part of, we're allowing them to use
Yeah,
our
yeah.
equipment
Yeah.
under this agreement, but that's where it's important to have a good understanding of like, what is our stuff? And that's where having this list, it's like,
Exactly.
reviews all our things, so that way when they start buying stuff themselves and they store it in the same place, in 2 years when, if they don't work out,
So
we can say, here's our
inventory
stuff.
list, compile the serial numbers where they can. If there is something without a serial number, we assign it a number.
What's that under, Dan?
What's that?
What's it under here?
It's under the, what it should be in the,
The squad has to go to a Ford dealer and fix it, it's $5,000 to fix it, who pays?
they do. In this agreement, I'll get right back with you. In this agreement, it's only what your mechanic can do. I'll be honest with you, your mechanic, right, well, to be honest with you, your mechanic, does pretty much service, general service, oil changes, fixing the belt, fix the radiator hose, that general, easy mechanic, normal basic stuff. Engine overhauls and stuff like that, he doesn't do. So, I mean,
Is it laid out? in here?
well, that's up to the department head's job to say, hey, if that's out of the scope of my mechanic, then that's on them to figure it out.
Is it clear in the law?
I think it is, the way I read it. Are you clear with it?
Tonight was the first time I've
Yeah,
ever.
currently it says that we would provide maintenance services at no cost to the squad, so, you know, we can clarify that to say maintenance.
General maintenance?
We
Well-
want that more specific.
Yeah, but, and I
Don't get me
can,
wrong, we'll fix whatever we can fix.
Right.
I'm just saying, if somebody
It has
has
to be set down, yeah.
because we do
Well,
occasionally have to send those things up to
to
Ford.
your point then, if someone has to go over to Ford, then we don't want them, we want them to pay for that.
Right.
So something a little
Okay.
more specific in that area.
Yeah, we can do that.
John, would you want, chief?
Yeah.
Here's what he-
And also, I mean, you guys wanna take the time to read this, we can put it off to the next meeting. I mean, we're already past our window with this month's, Susquehanna Regional Council anyways. My budget's taking a huge toll, because we didn't plan on them being in here, I was just looking at my fuel budget, and my fuel budget's horrible. So I mean, we need to get this ball moving,
Yeah.
but I also don't wanna
It won't move until the regional EMS council can vote on it, and they only meet once a month. They've already met this month, they're
You
meeting
can't take
next
next
month.
read what I'm getting at.
I would like to do that and, speak for them about things.
So this was one of the last meetings, we just needed to be tweaked, right?
No,
We
that wasn't-
added,
Yeah.
6 pages.
Completely rewritten.
It was like a one-page thing last
If
year.
you wanna use the word tweak, you know that. When I opened up the file, I said, now this looks like it came from attorney.
Right?
Mayor, why don't you move this on to the next meeting?
Yeah,
Put on the next.
so everybody has a copy, you know, look through it, see
Read it over, yeah.
if we have any questions between the next meeting. Before the
Yeah,
next meeting.
so, I mean, if you guys can just email me directly with comments, questions about the agreement,
Okay.
and then Rusty, if you want to send me smoke signals or something.
From the smoke shop?
From the smoke shop, yeah. In the right place.
Advertise.
Is that on there?
It's on the video, yeah, you're right on, you're advertised on YouTube now, that's. There, did I forget anything else?
I think that's about it. We've had some calls, some potentially serious calls. Pretty much the biggest one that made the news lately was the lady that got burned over on Spencer Avenue.
Yeah.
We landed the helicopter over so that person could go to straight to a burn unit. Everything worked out okay.
So she didn't actually try to put the fire out with kerosene, right?
No, I don't know where that information came from, but it's pretty much trying to extend the life of the fire with
It
kerosene.
was just too close and exploded.
Yeah, you know, and we're lucky that after it was done, those houses are very close to each other. It came in as a working house fire, not as a burn. PD got on scene fairly quickly, reassessed it to us at unknown if the house was on fire, but the priority was the burn patient. So, we got out the door really quick. We had over 30 firefighters that attended that call. And our ALS ambulance had 3 ALS providers. One ambulance had 3 providers on it, so she was getting the best care we could get, and there was a quick response from everybody. Today, we mutually canned her for a motor vehicle accident.
Twice now on 96 nasty bullets.
Yeah, so it was a fatal accident, turned out to be fatal. We were the first heavy rescue on scene with 8 people. So we're doing very well as personnel, we're out the door. Like I said, I think we responded within 5 minutes with 8 people, you know, our heavy rescue. So we're doing well in our department, but it can change anytime. We got all volunteers. So, but you know, we get 2 trucks out the door at the same time for a house fire within a couple of minutes is pretty good. I'm very happy. That's it.
Did you have a problem getting to the infield?
We actually did not use the infield. We were concerned about crossing the track with the ambulance. So we actually landed in front of, in the old baseball field, there, the old middle school baseball field.
Oh, okay.
Where we actually put the helicopter down. We drove across it with our engine and it didn't sink at all, so we said, all right, the engine's not sinking, the helicopter won't sink.
Okay.
But yes,
I got thinking, I didn't know if they were locked or not.
traditionally we use the infield.
Right,
And our thought was we got bolt cutters.
right.
And then the next thing was going across the infield, getting stuck with the patient, not know with all the rain and stuff.
Right.
So we diverted it over here. Worked out fine. Chopper liked it, the pilot liked it, so it was good.
Good.
Jeff? You have no work here?
The only thing that I have, additional to my email report, kind of goes with what Nadine was talking about with the sushi joint. There's a lot of hurdles for him to go through. And not only OHPC and SHPO, but he's gonna have to do a floodplain development permit. He's gonna have to go through a site plan review, DOT site plan review, 239 review. He's got a bunch of things he's gotta go through. Just so, if he thinks he's opening in the spring, and that's not gonna
Yeah,
happen.
we didn't say that.
Okay.
He just wants to break ground in it.
So, just so everybody's aware that there's a lot of stuff we've gotta go through for that to happen. Not that any of it's gonna be a problem, just, there's just a lot of.
You don't like sushi, do you?
I personally don't, but anybody that wants to do something in the village of Toledo is fine with me.
Yeah, more business is better.
Jerry had sent his report. But he said there's a request again to jet line the jet.
There is, yes.
One on, behind the.
Private line behind Court Street.
Lake Street again.
So he sort of hinted that they only wanna do it if the attorney would get a letter out to all the property owners and say, this is what we're doing, and if we cause any damage, it's on you. So, that, you know, I'm talking about the line behind you guys.
Yeah, so, is Jerry saying that he wants to jet the line?
I think that's all that's,
So,
as long
so,
as we don't have liability.
well, if you do work on it, then you're gonna have liability.
Right, that's the only way he will work on it, if we get, somebody signs off and says,
I mean, you would need all those property owners to sign off on it, which,
Every one of them.
well, that's what I'm saying, I don't know if it's possible. So, I don't know.
I mean, didn't we go in the summer that that was their property? They had to hire somebody outside the village to do it?
Yeah.
Rodney, were you saying that he wants us to just photograph it or to?
No,
Clean it.
it's quiet.
Yeah,
It should be ratted.
You guys already paid to redo all of those drawings.
Yeah,
We've got
Yeah,
the
we
drawings.
routed it.
take care of themselves.
But at the moment, it's a private line, so,
Right.
Yeah.
but they do pay sewer bill,
They do.
so. It's
But
private, but we
we
get the
voted
money.
back in the summer that that
Huh?
is their private line. We're not liable for it.
Yeah.
It's a tough one.
This is not.
So. Well,
Yes.
I think that's risky.
I don't know, I say we clean it, but.
We have cleaned it in the past,
That's why
we
you
clean it once a year,
Yeah. We told them that was there.
but what we're saying, if we clean it all of a sudden the whole line goes up, then who's
They're
gonna
all in
fix it?
trouble.
Then we're
They
gonna-
need to call a private company.
We do whatever you guys want to do.
gotta put a foot down.
Nothing tonight?
Oh, yeah, no,
Right now, there's a dumpster over the manhole anyway, which David won't come to, so.
I just mentioned that. Just a suggestion.
I mean, I think it's really risky for us to do anything since we've already told them it's their private property and they take care of it.
I know, I'm just worried that it's gonna become a bigger issue again.
Yeah, if it
Swing
doesn't,
back in.
if somebody needs to look into it, and if it doesn't pose
Oh,
a health problem or something like that, then we should reiterate what we already set in motion last time we dealt with this situation. But if it's something that needs to be done immediately, I think we need to do the right thing.
We can do it, but he also wants to cover himself by saying, if we do it, if it screws up, then who's responsible?
yeah.
I mean, do you guys wanna have an attorney-client session on this? Cause, you know, I'd like to give you some legal advice.
Okay,
Oh,
Yeah.
Go for it.
so we need an executive
Well,
session.
yeah, we can do it,
We'll do
we
it
can do it
executive
after executive session.
A 3-minute one, yeah.
3 minutes.
All right.
Trustee,
Um, The police chief's not here. He did publish, or somebody published their year-end, last year's numbers on Facebook. I know I saw them.
There
Number
were
of
pens
calls
there.
and whatnot, and the penny saver too. Yeah. So that was good. Here. Trustee reports, Fran?
The only thing I've done the last 2 weeks is I went to DRI subcommittee meeting last Friday on housing. And we're going through the list and trying to whittle it down.
Good. Charles?
I just want to make mention of thanks to our police department, our immediate police department and the state police came together to defuse a potential threat at our local school. They did an excellent job. They took things serious. They got to the bottom of things. and our children were safe. And that was it was the best thing for them. The SRO, police officer, he was alerted to the situation and he stepped up and made things known. So I made my business to stop by there and I seen everything was in place and it was all good. I'll be attending the meeting tomorrow along with other trustees for this meeting for the DRI. So, that's what I have.
Same thing, I'll be at the meeting tomorrow with GRI and look forward to just getting that moving.
No report. So mayor's report, I'll do that. Busy Christmas time, posted a video. On the DRI committee, we had to review and rank the DRI projects, which there was about 50 of them, so that took a while.
Yeah, I didn't mention.
We had a couple of DRI meetings in between. And I researched the police chief's salaries, that was kind of fun. And for the school district thing, I worked with the OPD in the school district, provide some sort of communication. I plan to have drop-in hours Friday, 10 to 2, hopefully, or by appointment. And what else? Oh, there will be a work session for, just to notify the public, because I don't know how well we did that, but there will be a work session tomorrow night here at 7 o'clock. The board is going to work, the DRI consultants are coming to review the public projects for the DRI that are owned by the village with the board, just to update us on what's going on basically. One of those projects happens to be that sewer line behind Lake Street.
I'd like to also thank Danny for putting together this excellent presentation here.
Yes.
Thank you, Danny.
Push my fire station.
I will.
We need to have an executive session.
A lot of time in that bad boy.
Yeah.
Matters relating
It
to
looks-
the
Yeah.
appointment, employment, et cetera, of individuals.
Correct. So do I have a motion for that? You think? We'll do public comment, but
I have one,
Just a minute,
let's do the motion just so we get it on the table. You're not gonna.
What is the motion?
Executive session.
Oh, yeah. I'll second that.
Okay, so Ron and Charles. Okay, so we'll do public comment now, so if everybody's on the stand.
I just don't want to pick too hard at a sore wound but in the discussion on the electricity rates, like it was brought up that we're getting full disclosure from NYSEG. How come Suez doesn't operate under the same rules? And that really is a concern that they would be allowed to hide, whereas other utilities are not. And that had a much bigger financial impact on the citizens than the small electric rate savings. And I don't know what the point of that. I guess we can't relitigate the sewer issue, but it seems as though there's something wrong there.
I would agree. As a bill payer, I know mine went up a lot.
I had a DRI comment, put my other hat on, because I'm on the committee too. And one of my concerns is administrative support within the village once these projects get started. And when I was going through that review they just gave us a review process to go through. Two things came to my mind. One, there was one section that said, the village will help applicants fill out their applications. And I was just like, is that you, Mr. Mayor?
I don't know, I had the same question.
That could be, yeah, where is that, coming from? And then the other thing was, they had put down, they were suggesting that the guidelines for historic preservation be revised, which is something that we are already currently doing for nothing, for zero. And they had they estimated a $30,000 fee to hire somebody to help do that. And so that won't happen. But what that alerted me to was, all along they've been saying there is no money allocated for administrative support, right? But if they could budget $30,000 to hire an outside consultant to help us with our revisions of the guidelines, then maybe, this is what I would like to see. I mean, I keep saying about the code enforcement officer,
Yeah.
we have to have a full-time code enforcement officer to make sure these projects are safe. And I just would kind of push back, when you have your work session with them, find out how much wiggle room they have here in the budget to supply a village such as ours with help for applications and then help for a code enforcement officer.
Response, I don't know this for sure, but from listening to them all the times at the consulting firm talked about these things, my general feel is they'll give money to do a thing, but they won't give money for ongoing expenses or whatever. That was the general
I
feel.
get that too, and I was thinking, well, maybe there's once the applications start coming
Maybe it could be
through,
a
a
task.
certain amount of time.
Yeah, a task, yeah. pay for that.
A one-time thing, code enforcement officer for these projects, not
Yes.
necessarily forever and ever, just for
Yes.
these projects.
Yeah,
May have to be spun the right way.
Something like that.
What's going through my mind is they'd probably provide funding, so a consultant to help review or revise the
Yeah.
guidelines. They might pay to provide a consultant with a code enforcement officer to help the code enforcement officer.
even processing paperwork or something like that, but even boots on the ground, that's a huge job.
In the past, for the housing projects that the village has done, the last being the contract was taken away, the village has contracted with the housing department at TOI to run that. They have the expertise, they have the people, blah, blah, blah. And they work very well with Jeff and Rodney. So that is a resource to you, and it generally is covered in the contracts. The other thing that frightened me tonight is y'all talking about the police chief's salary and all that, and whether it's part-time or full-time. Is everyone aware of the fringe rate for that, and what's it gonna cost you? Because most villages, and I believe when I researched this a couple of years ago, your fringe rate was over 25%. And so whatever you put for a salary, you have to add 25% for that. And then you have to also decide what insurances you're going to offer them. And that's a very scary thing. And that's the same thing with offering this person a dual job or adding it to her job description. You're just opening it up to be a big cluster, because at what point and who says and all that, and who manages it. So my opinion, having done this for years and years and years, is don't do it. But that's just a citizen's opinion. You're gonna do what you're gonna do. But cleaning it up is a mess.
Which part don't you want them to do?
I want them to think very carefully about the wage they put in, and I also want to make sure that they don't put two jobs on one person, because that person could leave, that person could get hurt doing one job. And are they qualified? Where's, at what point do you draw the line? And who, so there's a lot of liabilities you have and a lot of things that open you up to it.
Can I ask a question about that? Sure. I'm not familiar with the fringe. So are you saying that when we put a salary in for our police chief, we have to add 25%?
That's what your fringe rate was.
For a
I think
full-time, right?
For employer side taxes, for other benefits that might be.
Oh, that's just a standard thing
Yeah.
that you.
FICA is 7.62%, whatever your state, and that can be,
Yeah, I understand. Okay.
yeah. So just be really careful when you throw out numbers that you know what you're saying, because it can bite you hard.
We're trying to drop that from 6250 down to 35, so we're putting it up.
Right. All right, anybody else, public comment?
Thank you all.
Okay, so let's do a
Thanks for
vote.
coming, folks.
Thank you.
Do the vote for the, executive session.
Yes.
Yes.
I actually have a question for you, just now that I know where you're from.
Do you want to speak to
One of your agencies in our lovely governor's agency is making marijuana.
You're opening up a can of worms.